5 things you can do as a Scrum Master to improve your Scrum team's velocity starting right now. Number 1, set a baseline. I see so many Scrum teams, Scrum Masters, Agile coaches rushing to improve velocity, joining a team and rushing to find ways to improve velocity. How do you know you've improved it? You don't even have a baseline. Set your baseline first. You can't improve what you don't measure. So go back to the team. How are you estimating your work in story points so your velocity will be in story points? Most Scrum teams use story points and you're interested in the average velocity here. Take the average number of story points you completed in the past 3 sprints, the latest 3 sprints. If you completed 50 in sprint 1, 100 in sprint 2, and 150 in sprint 3, that's a total of 300 points. Over 3 sprints, that's 100 points per sprint. The average velocity is 100 points. That's your baseline. Most big companies use an application like Jira to track their work, and you can easily extract the velocity report for the team. But if you're not using Jira, you can just use a pen and paper or a spreadsheet to track the velocity of the team. The goal here is to stabilize velocity. That's the very first thing you need to do. Velocity is not a productivity metric. Velocity is used to predict future sprints. In our example, 100 was our velocity for our team. There's a high chance by the next sprint we are going to do 100 again. This brings me to step number 2. Set a target. The core of Scrum is empiricism, using past data and experience to try to predict the future. The data we have from our previous example, 100 story points, there's a high chance that in the next sprints we'll also do 100 story points based on past data. That's empiricism. But really? We already did 50 points first sprint, 150 second sprint, 100 third sprint. This data also is important. There's a high chance that we'll be very far also from 100 points because the team is unstable. Again, the goal of velocity is not to improve it, is to stabilize it first. Agile principle number 8. Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. So please set the right target. It shouldn't be to improve velocity. It should be to stabilize it. So that when you have an average velocity of 100 points and you have a stable velocity throughout, it's a clear indication that you can use this data, this empirical data, to predict future sprints. Let's say you predict a release based on the amount of user stories that you need to complete to release, and the prediction is 3 sprints, simply because there's 300 points of work. There's a high chance that you complete this release in 3 sprints because the team is stable. That's why we use velocity. Most people get this wrong. Number 3, focus on the sprint goal. Now we start getting into the actual tips, how to improve velocity, how to stabilize velocity. The sprint goal, that's the most important goal of the sprint. If you don't know what a sprint goal is, watch this video right here. Basically, the sprint goal is the priority of a sprint, the focus of the team. Everything in the sprint, all work done by the team, should have a goal of accomplishing the sprint goal, progressing daily towards the sprint goal. Start with a daily scrum every morning. What did I do yesterday to get closer to the sprint goal? What will I do today to get closer to the sprint goal? Any impediments, anything preventing me from progressing towards the sprint goal? These are the 3 questions. Most Scrum teams use that. If you don't want to use the 3 questions, you can also walk the board. Open your Jira board or any applications that you use to track your Scrum board and go through each piece of work with a goal of knowing how to progress towards the sprint goal, how to get this piece of work done. Prioritize list done. How can we plan our day as a team to get work done so that we can progress towards the sprint goal every single day? Multiple times per day, we should be having these conversations. Most Scrum teams don't do that. They just wait 2 days prior to the end of a sprint. They go into a panic because they realize that there's so many things to get done that we haven't done yet. Every single day, we need to measure our progress towards the sprint goal. We need to plan our day together. We need to reflect on how our plan went yesterday. Did we achieve what we said we would achieve? If not, why? How can we improve today? Every single day we need to have these tough conversations to increase our chance of meeting our sprint goal and completing all the work we said we would do, stabilizing our velocity. Number 4, shield the team. Many people believe that the Scrum Master is the only one shielding the team. No, A Scrum Master's role is to shield the team from distractions, external distractions, internal distractions. But the Scrum Master should also coach them so that they can shield themselves. They need to understand that the sprint goal is the focus of the sprint. It's hard to focus on something. So many distractions. New functionality is being added to the sprint backlog from external stakeholders, from the product owner in the team. They are adding work, getting distracted. The Scrum Master should coach the team. Forget about distractions. Focus on the sprint goal. Once we complete the sprint goal, we can start adding things to the backlog. So any new item in the sprint backlog that wasn't present in the sprint planning, a new item, ask questions or coach the team to ask powerful questions. Is this really needed? Is this a priority? Can this wait for the next sprint? Do we need to really do this right now? And if yes, what needs to be removed from the sprint? Because we shouldn't be taking additional work, right? We should be trading. We're not getting additional capacity, additional people in the sprint, right? How can we take additional work? We're simply trading this new piece of work for a lower priority item. When you ask these tough questions, you make people realize, do we really need this additional functionality? I think we can wait till the next sprint. And also ask them, the product owner or the external stakeholders, can we afford the distraction that this is causing on the team? Refining this piece of work, estimating this piece of work, making all these decisions in terms of priority, distracting the team from completing the sprint goal. Can we afford that? Is it worth it? Let's wait till the next sprint, right? Number 5, stop multitasking. We talked about the focus of the team, individuals in the team, on the sprint goal, progressing towards the sprint goal. The focus should also be working on a single item at a time. I won't be talking about why multitasking is bad. You should know by now that multitasking is a productivity killer, and you shouldn't be doing that. So focus on a single item until its completion and move on to the next. Stop starting and start completing at a team level and individual level. It's not always possible at a team level. If you have a truly self-organized team, cross-functional team, T-shaped team, you can simply pick one item. Everyone works on this item until completion and we move on to the next. Impediment, blocker, everyone stops what they're doing to help us resolve this impediment and blocker. We don't pick up a new task when something is blocked. No, we do everything we can to resolve it right now. Else we're increasing our work in progress and messing up our focus. Introducing multitasking. This is not always possible, folks, but individually, you can easily work on a single item at a time. Same principle. Pick one item from to-do, put it in progress, and work on the development. And ensure that once the development is done, you're not rushing to pick a new item. No, you're a developer. Ensure that this item is moved up to done. All the columns up to done. Code review. Ensure that someone else is doing the code review. Don't pick something new. No, go find someone to do the code review. Go find someone to do the testing. Go help other people do the testing instead of picking something new. That's the limiting work in progress that we want. And this guarantees this alone. Focusing on a sprint goal. Having conversations every day about a sprint goal. Reflection every day about a sprint goal. And focusing on a single task until completion. This alone will guarantee that your velocity will increase. Now, I want to end this video with a word of caution. If you opened this video because you are someone who believes that velocity needs to be improving continuously every single sprint, are you sure about that? We talked about stabilization of velocity. That's the goal here. Velocity can't just increase indefinitely. Now, if you start rewarding the team for the ability to increase velocity every single sprint, you'll get a velocity that will increase every single sprint. But velocity is easily faked. And you start rewarding people on a metric that is used to predict, believing that is a productivity metric. You're completely wrong. You should start rewarding people based on how they delight their customers. Not productivity, not efficiency, effectiveness. That's the goal here. I know it's hard to accept this. Efficiency is not the goal, especially for stakeholders. It's hard to accept that, but the focus should be on your customer. Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.